babies hear everything in the womb. And I'm reading this book right now. It's called Answer Cancer, and it talks about the origins of the cause of major disease like cancer. And he does a regression therapy, and he finds that without fail, they always go back to the womb. And in the womb is where the original sensitizing event comes up that leads to cancer. And when you get rid of this original sensitizing event, then when you resolve that issue, then the cancer can go away. And so he says that he has had some miraculous healings with hypnosis, with this regression therapy that he does. And so if that's true, and what he says in there is that babies they develop auditory, their ears start to grow, and they start recording everything from an early age. And they tell the stories. They can recall conversations that were going on in the womb. And the majority of this stuff is talking about the baby not being wanted, talking about abortion. Sometimes there's even been attempted murder, like physically, like punching the belly to try to kill the baby, or using chemicals to try to flush it out, that kind of stuff. And the babies know that. And they grow up in life with this complex because of it. They don't know it. It's not a conscious thing, but they know about that kind of stuff. So now I don't know if this is true for sure or not. I've got every reason to believe that this is most likely true. And I'm going to start working with some hypnosis to find out this for myself now. And so I'm looking for people to try this out, and we'll find out whether or not this is actually true from a hypnosis perspective, and see if it actually works. And but the point of this whole thing is that babies can hear. And so if you've got a newborn baby, if you're newly pregnant, or if you're in a relationship and you get that news and your reaction to it, the baby knows. And if you don't want that baby, if you've got some kind of a bad reaction to that baby, maybe you're grandparents and you start yelling at the mom for being so whatever, that baby is going to feel unwanted. And it's going to last the rest of their life, and it's probably going to end up in some kind of disease down the road. And if there's enough of it, who knows, if there's a lot of verbal abuse and a lot of that bad energy going on in the womb, who knows what that can be manifested out of that. It's really hard to say how far this stuff goes. But the important thing here is to be aware that the baby in the womb is actually hearing stuff and knows what's going on. It doesn't really know. It doesn't actually know what the words are. But those words are encoded into their being. And subconsciously, they're there. And according to this guy, he goes back and he talks to these people, and he gets those conversations from outside the womb between the parents, and they can go word for word and relive these conversations. And so, I know that I had that. I know that I absorbed the self-hate that was, from my situation because of, they weren't married. My parents weren't married. And so my grandparents really didn't want this to happen. They wanted to send my mom away, and who knows what else, right? Some monastery out in Vancouver or something they talked about. It's like, talk about not feeling wanted. That's why I don't feel wanted, right? That's the way it works. And so if you're a new parent, or you're going to be a new parent, knowing this can maybe help you to act in such a way that you realize that your baby knows what's going on. If you treat it differently, then you can empower your baby. And he also said that his mother used to listen to like Earl Nightingale. It's like self-development stuff, right? And so he became attracted to that kind of stuff later in life and learned that his mother used to listen to that stuff when he was in the womb. So that stuff seemed to help him out. So when you're having a baby, it's really important that all the energy around the baby actually be some good energy. And you don't talk about getting rid of the baby or any of that kind of stuff because that's going to be forever damaging to them. So, yeah, watch what you say in front of your kids. They are recording this stuff. Doesn't matter how old they are. It gets encoded into them. You know, it's not so much the actual words, but the energy of the words. And the subconscious can recall all that stuff. So just be aware of that and act accordingly. So, yeah, that's what I got to say. Anyways, I'm Jeff Broomfield. I'm a quantum hypnotist. And make sure you give me a like down here and subscribe to my channel as well. So thanks for tuning in and have yourself a good one.